Our second reader is a writer, educator, musician, and the poetry editor of Blood Orange Review. His poems have appeared or are forthcoming in the American Poetry Review, Beloit Poetry Journal, Mid-American Review, and elsewhere. His chapbook, Meridians, is forthcoming this fall from Willow Springs Books. He holds an MFA in creative writing from the University of Idaho and teaches in the English department at Washington State University, where he is co-director of the Visiting Writers Series. Please give a big hand for Cameron McGill. Super tall, so I'm just going to start moving this up this direction. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, thanks so much. Hello. How's it going?
Good.
Thanks, Nora. Nice to see you again. Several of these poems, the titles are latitude and longitude digits, and so I'm just going to read like the first one. I won't bore you with a bunch of numbers, but most of the titles are numbers. This is 44.6336 degrees north, 86.2345 degrees west. This is not a nightmare. This is how the world looks in a forest at night, phantasmagoric in the canopy. There is the sound of sleet ticking on bark, bark that quakes like tuning forks in the crowns of pine, crowns like the heads of waves, seen by no one but my father and me in the 4 o'clock dark. He starts in with noises of his life. A fluency of branches swimming at the window means I wake in blue, the room a vanity mirror with rain on it. Downstairs he rises with his cough, his small lamp hung in the dark. Who smokes must be talking to himself. There is a freighter skulking full of ore, pounding sleep knots to Charlevoix. This distant country called me home. Why have I only brought it adjectives? I try to sleep. As she is not next to me, I cannot put my hand on her back. I have only a stormful of trees in the dark. This is another, I call these poems meridians. So this is another meridian. I'm less the buildings I used to live in and more the strangers passing in their windows. The woman dancing with her baby, holding him high. A man carrying laundry to the bedroom with a beer. I return your shadow to where I found it in me, beside chimneys on Damon Avenue, in an alley piling breath into January. I live in too much silence. There needs to be someone in the car, the room, the bed, the world, and its heartbreak of mastery wants me undone. To come here knowing nothing should want to speak with me except the wind and frost on the grass in shadows of trees on Winnemac. This all starts to sound the same. The city, the block, my assurances, the deficits they make of memory. Yesterday I met the woman I lived with for years, my remembering a bath. Her knees, islands in the cooling water. I'm afraid describing things ruins them. That's not true. It was me who asked what the body wanted and didn't listen for the answer. After work, my father would split his attention with an ice pick, crush 4 fingers of a tumbler, light 10 cigarettes like birthday candles, blow them out in front of me. He'd offer me the olives, each round, bitter, salt, and ethyl on my tongue, a truce without words. I understood what was agreed upon those nights when two unlikely things were forced together. I'd slipped the slick red hearts from their cavities. I was a kid. I was helping. Let's see. So this next one has an epigraph from Ioannis Ritsos. It reads, "I have a bird in my head," he says. "I can't get it out." This is called Mythos. Mother, I am wrong. We are not from stone, but my memories make hard things of beauty. There is a small bird that lives inside me, telling everything backwards to my birth. There, he says, and scares from a wooden table where a chair has been pushed away. He moves between my ribs, holds them like branches, with a voice that calms horses, like the dark boards of dreams. In a field outside the town of my youth, he waits like young widows for sleep. The name he calls my blood is yours. He leaves his work in the corners of my eyes, in drawings on the walls of my mouth, where a man stands in a field, an ornament to moonlight. Sometimes he lies down. Others, he takes a knee, a bath, his own life. This meridian is, again, I won't read the numbers, but it's Champaign, Illinois is where I grew up. I think of youth as one long summer incorrectly. Mornings the gray of a horse's pink tongue. Farmers calling in the corn from Thomasboro, surrounded by harvests, tall as men, gaunting doorways of train stations, sunburnt and matchless at Logan and Water. I've grown away from you slowly like a fingernail. Where is my sister in her torrential blonde, running skinny in the yard with the neighbor boy who'd later hang himself? How I didn't try to love him, who, torpedoed by sadness and psychiatry, chased me home, yelling all his mind at the street. The decrepit limousine our lives had been. Here is the promise the length of my body, that you will take me like a silo of smoke leaving the cigarette in my father's hand. The dreams I had, forgive me. When spring's tornadoes came, we raced with paper to the basement and drew them. You still with me? Yes. Am I still with me? Yeah, so all of these, except the next one, are going to be in a chapbook called Meridians. It's going to come out this fall, late fall, early winter, at some point. But yeah, this one is not in there. So, well, these are all new to you anyways, probably. So this is called At the Bar. At the bar, a woman grates blood orange over rye, her eyes like cool air coming through the door of a motel room on a state highway where two lawn chairs lean against a green wall, a coffee can of wet cigarettes at midnight in Des Moines. I'm leaving the small bathroom, undressing, lying on the starched stiff sheets with a beer, watching her slap her sandal against the heel of her right foot, where maybe she is singing in the doorway and waiting for the starlight of her ash to die out, or sang over the TV. That was a long day, and with so much country on either side of us, we might remain here, rehearsing restlessness, forever living lives by the hour, till whatever green language the room speaks in the morning shows us where the world goes in waking. If the street light is something I finger on her thigh, then loneliness becomes a problem of forgetting. The last 4 women I stood in front of naked, their softness pressing into me like light into a curtain. I am midlife on a Monday in February. It is getting late. She gives me what she's made on the rocks, and her smile is a wine glass hung by the foot of its stem, quivering slightly after having been put away. I'm going to do one more. Thank you for having me. Meridians. Michigan, open your dark umbrella, your night sky of benzodrine. Give me the mind slipping from my hands, gravel roads beyond county lines and the rain's understanding, where I am full as a pupil and miniature in the moonlight. I have come home. The house in cloud shadow is language, is I empty my pockets and my life beyond longitude. There are 12 rivers inside my body. I drown in 11 of them. One brings me to you. I keep a small light where the madmen can't touch it. The dogs can't touch it. The dock's thin arm, reaching to the lake, drops the moon like a yoke. I let go the dark that you would come take me by the hand to a field. I wait now among a stand of trees, so that anywhere I go will be a clearing. Thank you.